I'm sorry.
Live. Scripture breakdown class. Hey, could you hit Regalia and see if he come to class?
Oh, okay.
The one. What's good with you, Al? First time in class, or you been here?
First time.
Oh, that's what's up. What's up?
Hey, strong little person. Hey, Sluggy, are you coming to class? Okay, no, yeah, one person in the ass. That's it.
Anybody got any questions?
Nah, sorry.
What about you?
I'm about to start reading right now.
The question you want to start with?
A little bit about what's this about. I'm interested.
What? Cause you,
All right.
he with you?
I mean, he filled me in a little bit, but you know.
Basically, according to the Bible, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians are the real Jews. According to the Bible and historical facts, we're the real Jews. Black people are not African, like how we've been taught a whole life since, the white man's educational system say that because we came from Africa, everybody just agrees with that, hell, we African. You know what I'm saying? But this is a hidden knowledge that is being revealed right in these last days, that who we really are. We the only people that don't have an identity, like everybody. Matter of fact, recently Akon did a Vlad interview where he said, where they were, Vlad said, you know your heritage. You can trace your genealogy and who you are. You know who you are. And see, Africans can do that. But the Negroes that came on slave ships, we can't do that. We don't know who we are. Even with Ancestry.com and everything that they got going on with technology, we still can't figure out who we are. When you do that DNA test, they give you 3 results. Right. So you still don't get a definitive answer of who are my forefathers. Who do I descend from? Like the Asians, the East Indians, the white man, even he can trace his lineage. But blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, we can't trace our lineage. We don't know who we are, and we carry those names of our slave master: Hernandez, Jackson, Smith. These are what come from our slave master. So this is just the truth that's coming out in the last days, and that's what we all about. We about raising up our people, waking up the walking dead of our people, which is blacks, Hispanics, in the Christian church, in the world, whatever they may be in, and just bring them back to the knowledge of who they are. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we all about. That's why Brothers is here. And once we learn that, we live it. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people may think that it's hard to do what we do and keep the commandments. It's not hard. It's just you got to have the desire, you know what I'm saying, to do that, to do it straight up and down. You know what I mean? You got anything else? Any other question?
Makes sense.
Yeah. So how did you hear about the truth? That's what's up. That's what's up. That's how we all got in here.
Right.
That's how me and Regalia was smoking weed together, watching videos, and that's how we came into the truth.
Right.
Getting high, coming to class, still getting high. Until one time, Captain Gadar was speaking on weed. You know how it be, brothers speaking. He not talking about you, but you feeling the heat because you sitting there high. Like, damn, you know what? I can't be a man of God. I can't call myself about this if I'm still living that life, that old life. So, like, it don't happen overnight. You know what I'm saying? And you just build up. You get built up until you become what you see me as, what you see the brothers on the East Coast as. Any brother in the school started the same way. We all come up from the hood. We all come from the barrio. We all was doing hella crazy shit, so like all kind of stuff in the world. You know what I'm saying? And we came to the revelation like, man, damn, What's wrong with our people? Why my life always like this?
Right.
Why, you know what I'm saying? Like, why ain't nothing changing with my people? Why is it like it's 2020 and we still getting dog sick on us and killed by the police?
Right.
You know what I mean? Something, it's gotta be something. But on the other hand, we seem to be so great. We seem to be, you know, the best at this, the best at that, the best at that. But we still are suffering like in the 60s.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, like me personally, I just started to ask questions like, why is it like this? Why has it never changed? Why is it? And listen, I grew up like a lot of us grew up with, even if you haven't been in you didn't grow up going to church every Sunday, you still have a Christian mentality. Because you can tell the hardest hardcore nigga from the hood, the white man is the devil, and he say, nah man, nah, y'all crazy, something's wrong with y'all. Like even the hardest gangster will not agree with you when you say the white man is the devil. But it made sense to me. It made sense to me when I heard the truth, and of course it's shocking. It's a culture shock because it's something you never heard before. You never heard no black man say the white man is the devil. Jesus Christ is a black man. You're the most specialist people on the planet. Go ahead.
If I may, so that's heavy because, like, say people like to say, "Oh, this is not the truth." Okay, well, what is? Like, who the hell am I? You know what I mean? Like Negroes,
Right.
Hispanics, and Native Americans. Like every 50 some odd years, it was colored, it was African American. Now it was Negro at first,
Right.
Or what was it? On the actual contracts, if you find, they'll say Negroes for Hebos.
It would say Hebos, Negroes for sale.
Yeah, it's like,
we went through a change of an identity every
Right.
couple years.
right.
Darky, like you
Right.
said, color,
Right.
Negroes, Afro-American. We was named after Afro, after a hairstyle.
Right.
You know what I mean? But these are not identities. And then you, like I was saying earlier, Akon, which is Sinhalese, these people are the people that sold our people.
Right.
He said they don't think about slavery. They looking into moving forward. They don't even think about slavery. And that's because why would they think about slavery if they was the people selling the people? Just like the white man, they don't think about slavery because they didn't get sold. So when we bring up slavery, it's because that's a generational trauma that we feel. That's something we feel every day when a white man locks his door when he walks by his car. That's something that energy and that trauma is something that we see every day. You know what I'm saying? When they tell you, oh, nah, we not hiring today. You know what I'm saying? It's something you feel. You feel that in the back of your mind, the back of your psyche. You feel that energy of us being slaves, and it affects everything we do today. It's the reason why our people is in the position they are in, and it's the reason why the white man is in the position he in. So you can't say, oh, forget about the past, leave that alone, because the past affects everything that's happening right now today. You know what I'm saying? So Akon can't feel it, but our people don't understand that these people are not us. And like a lot of black people will tell you, they won't go on record and say it, but they'll tell you like, nah, Africans ain't our people. They act funny with us. I done spoke to numerous black people that say, nah, they treat us like they better than us.
Right.
I done spoke to so many black people that will tell you that. They won't go on record because nobody wants to look like they're against Africa. Like, we're not against the continent, we're against a people. In Africa, do we got a Zondervan? In Africa is a continent with more than 54 countries. So the word African is just a blanket term for a whole bunch of peoples. But when you hear African, you think like, oh, that's us. We from the motherland. You know, that's the homeland. You know what I'm saying? That's where we need to get back to our roots. When in reality, our people were settlers in West Africa. Our people wasn't native Africans. Well, would you go to war with your own relatives and then sell them to the so-called white man, to a whole nother country? They didn't sell their family members. They sold people who were their enemies. They sold people who were not their people. You get what I'm saying? So we are not them, and that's something just as important as showing black people who their oppressor is. It's also important to show black people the white man wasn't the only one that had a foot in your destruction, in us coming on slave ships. Africans also got super rich from selling us. In fact, the brother, Shabal posted a post Well, it was an African king in Dahomey. That's basically the Ivory Coast, where he boasted about being so rich from the slave trade. And he said, it's on record, he said that God had to ordain this. Why would he say something like that? Like, why would he say that God had to ordain this? And we'll get to that later. But the point is that in these scriptures, most nations knew that you don't mess with the Israelites, because if God is on their side, you're not gonna win. But if God is not on their side, you probably can do what you want to do with him. So this African, I forget his name. Matter of fact, I wouldn't even want to say his name, because it's African names be like 30 characters long. But he said that God had to be on his side. He had to ordain that, like, in order for that to happen, in order for him to enslave the real Jews. You get what I'm saying? That's not what he said, but why would you say that unless you knew the prophecies and you knew who these people were? That if the God of Israel is on their side, you can't do nothing to him. But if he's not, then he must have ordained it. He must have allowed you to put them in shackles and put them in Goree Island, where they had the slave castle, and sit there and wait for them slave ships to take them. They call it the Gate of No Return.
Right.
You probably heard of that. That's where they was taking people recently for the year of return in Ghana, where they were inviting African Americans to come back home. And it just came out where they said that was about stimulating the economy. That's all that was about, is getting rich Black Americans to move to Africa to stimulate the economy. It wasn't about you being them. Like, money rules in the white man's kingdom. So it's not about you being them. Of course they're going to accept you. You're going to make their country better. You're going to stimulate the economy. What you got?
I had a 2868.
Deuteronomy? You don't have the Zondervan?
Which word did you want?
I want a ham.
I got it. This is out of Zondervan's Pictorial Bible Dictionary. Ham. Ham.
And then you give me Exodus 11 and 7.
Okay, I got it. Ham, the youngest son of Noah, born probably about 96 years before the flood.
So Ham was the youngest son of Noah, right? Ham had 3 sons, Noah had 3 sons, which was Ham, Shem, and Japheth. How you say it again?
Japheth?
Yeah. I always get a tongue twist on that one. Go ahead.
Ham, the youngest son of Noah, born probably about 96 years before the flood, and one of the 8 persons to live through the flood. He became the progenitor.
He became the progenitor, meaning the father of, keep reading.
The dark races.
The dark races. So Ham became the progenitor or the father of the dark races. Keep reading.
Not the Negro.
Not the Negro. So it makes a distinction. It tells you that although there were dark races, the Negroes were a dark people, but they didn't descend from Ham. So that's another misconception, is that Black people in the world today, especially Hoteps and people into Egyptology and Pan-Africanism, they say, okay, based on the fact that we have melanin, we should be united. We should be in this worldwide Pan-Africanism unity, right? Based on melanin, right? But when you go look at the walls of ancient Egypt or any people in ancient times, they were never united, and they were all dark races. That ain't never happened in the history of the earth, where everybody is united just simply based on the fact that we got melanation in our skin, right?
Right.
That's why it doesn't happen now. Like, you have Black people in America who are the simplest people in the world that think like, okay, I'm Black, you're Black, we're brothers. That's not how it worked in the ancient world. That's not how it works in the Bible. Some East Indians are black as night.
Right.
They ain't your people. Cushites, Egyptians, and let me tell you, the Egyptians, the pharaohs, whenever they would conquer a people, they would have it inscribed on the walls of the people they conquered. And you'll have the Pharaoh with his pulling the hair of the nations that he have conquered. And those nations was other black peoples. You get what I'm saying? Those nations that the pharaohs would conquer were other black nations. The Libyans, the Cushites, the Israelites, the Nubians. These was their enemies. So you can't even go back to ancient Egypt and find a time when everybody was united simply because they was black. It would be better to use Genesis 10 and see that the Lord had divided the nations and gave them their own land. Everybody is different for a reason. Like, we all different for a reason. Like, you know how they say, like, oh, black people been in America so long, we probably ain't even black no more, we mixed. No, you the seed of your forefather. If that's the case, the earth would have been mixed a long time ago, because people been mixing a long time, since the beginning of time. But it's the seed of the forefather. So it really doesn't matter. That bloodline is going to exist from Genesis to right now. You know what I mean? But getting back to the point is that, like, we never was united based on the fact that we black. You know what I'm saying? And a key to know that we as black people are the Israelites is, hell, we hate one another. Black people in America, you can't bump into a nigga without him wanting to take your head off. You know what I'm saying? You can't look at a nigga the wrong way without him wanting to draw his pistol on you. You know what I'm saying? That's the type of hate we have, and that's the type of hate we had in the Bible. So it's biblical that this hate we have for one another, this lack of what's the word I'm looking for? It's a lack of how can I say it? It's like, you know, like long suffering. Like, I'm gonna deal with you. I'm gonna let it go. Forgiveness. We don't know how to forgive one another.
Right.
We don't know how to forgive. You got that, Exodus 11:7. So he got that. That was Ham. Ham was the father of the Egyptians, the Libyans, all those Africans. Ham was the father of Africans, but he was not the father of the Negroes. Keep reading. I mean, Slide, go ahead and read. That's Exodus 11:7.
Exodus chapter 11, verse 7. But against any of the children of Israel shall not a dog move his tongue against man or beast, that ye may know how that the Lord doth put a difference between the Egyptians and Israel.
The Lord put a difference between the Egyptians and Israel, and the Lord put that in there for a reason. Because look at today, what do? What is the first thing we gravitate when we say, oh, we so-called conscious? Are we learning about black power? We learn about, where's the first place we go to? What's the first thing we identify with? Go ahead.
Egypt, right?
It's Egypt. That's the first thing, brother. You know how many brothers you see wearing the ankh?
Right.
You know how many sisters you see wearing the ankh? Like, that's the first thing they, Tupac had the tattoo of Nefertiti on him. Like, that's the first thing we do. And then a lot of the movies that the white man put out have brainwashed us too.
Right.
Like Coming to America.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, to make us, you put niggas in there, and you started thinking, we was them. We were the pharaohs. You know what I'm saying? We was them. So it's a lot of brainwash. Every movie they come out with puts us back to sleep to think like we're Africans.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
The Roots was a big one, sir.
The Roots was a big one. It's another one. It was an old, that Michael Jackson video, right? What was it? Remember the Times? They got Eddie Murphy, and he got his wife is a real African though. She's a real African. I think she's like Ethiopian or Sudanese.
On the video.
Yeah, on the video, she's a real African.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But he got Eddie Murphy as a pharaoh. You know what I'm saying? And that put us back to sleep. You know what I mean? It's a lot of brainwashing going on. And just think about it. Like, as black people, when we were slaves in America.
Right.
At the time, in the 1800s, the white man, he romanticized about Egypt. He wants to be an Egyptian. You see what he does? He puts himself there. He wanted that. And by him being in love with Egypt, it made us fall in love with Egypt. Because we were the slaves when they discovered the pyramids. When they dug up the Sphinx and the pyramids, they was in slavery. You get what I'm saying? So where did we get that from? You know, we got that from him first. You know what I'm saying? We damn sure didn't get it from the Bible, because we wasn't allowed to read the Bible. You get what I'm saying? So we coming out of slavery, we following the white man's lead. He's publishing books about Egypt. He's talking about how great Egypt was. And then we say, well, hell, they were black. Well, shit, we them.
Right.
That was us.
Yeah.
That was our greatness. And not realizing we was the slaves in Egypt, just like we were the slaves in America. Like the Egyptians used us to build their kingdom, just like the white man has used us to build his kingdom.
Right.
That's the reason why there's a pyramid on a dollar bill, because this country was started by Freemasons, and they follow ancient Egypt.
Right.
So they did the same thing that ancient Egypt did. It was like, we need the children of Israel to build our kingdom, and that's what they did. The Washington Monument got the obelisk, same as Egypt, right? They got Abraham Lincoln sitting the same as the pharaohs sit in those sculptures in Egypt.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So they romanticized about Egypt, and they built a great kingdom based on what Egypt did in ancient times. And that's why in the scriptures we call this spiritually Sodom and Egypt. But America is spiritually, it does the same thing that Egypt did and the same thing that Sodom and Gomorrah did, as far as with the homosexuality and the now what transgenderism and all that madness that's going on. Feel me? So where I want to go. So we got that. So we are not Africans.
Right.
Black people, you know what I mean? We the real Jews. We don't know we the real Jews. You know what I mean? And I wanted to touch a little bit on you was gonna say? You didn't. Yeah, I want to touch a little bit on Nick Cannon.
Okay.
And Nick Cannon, he came out and said what he said about us being the real Jews. But let us just be honest. Nick Cannon didn't really say anything that was too. He didn't say nothing that was a lie. What Nick Cannon said, it was true. The problem is Nick Cannon is not in the truth. So when you're not in the truth, you can't say what we say and stand up to the white man. You don't have the testicle fortitude to stand up to the onslaught that the white man is going to bring, like celebrities. And there's a lot of black people, we call them fake Israelites, that think that the truth is going to grow by celebrities admitting and saying, hey, we the real Jews. That's nice and cute, but at the same time, ready?
Well, you can finish up.
That's nice and cute for celebrities to say that, but celebrities are not how the truth is going to come to the world. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians in the barrios and the ghettos is who the Lord is going to use. The Lord said, I take a foolish thing to confound the wise, right? To confound the wise. Like, people will look at us and say, oh, these niggas ain't nothing. These niggas look like they on parole. These niggas look like a gang. They look like a biker gang. Like, they look at us and say, these are not men of God, right? They say, these are not men of God. They're looking for a man with alligator shoes and a nice suit on, and that's a man of God. When you see a brother all rough, you see a brother with his beard, you see a brother with his braids and his boots, and you're looking like, that's not a man of God. So they're looking for somebody like a celebrity, somebody that looks good, somebody that looks glorious to this world, to say, hey, we the real Jews. But that's not how Christ is going to come back. Christ is going to come back by niggas in the streets waking up to who they are. You know what I'm saying? Hey, give me, can anything good come out of Nazareth? I want to show you something. Can anything good come out of Nazareth? That's in one of the Gospels. But yeah, so what Nick Cannon said was the truth. But when the onslaught came, he folded real quick. You know, they came so hard on Nick Cannon that Nick Cannon is now talking about donating money to the Jews. He's talking about doing fundraisers for them. That's how he flipped the whole script. And that should show our people something, is that we can't look at celebrities as leaders. Celebrities can never be leaders for us, because celebrities, they will fold. They will fold when the pressure comes. And they're all about money. They're all about the bread. So if they feel like it's going to stop their bread, then they'll have a change of heart real quick. You know what I'm saying? They'll switch up. See, with us, it's nothing you can do with us. You can't bribe us. We done had brothers where we done had the FBI come to brothers and try to pay them money and try to pay them bread to infiltrate the Isupk. Had a brother come in here, and guess what happened? He put on all black and got in class. He said, "The hell with that." The brother's daughter had a medical condition. They said, "Listen, we'll give you thousands of dollars for your daughter." And the brother came in and he realized this is the truth. And the brother said, "You know what? They was trying to pay me all that money, but I'm good." You know what I'm saying? So even if they try, see, if the Lord is with you, who can be against you? You feel what I'm saying? So you can't infiltrate us. You can't get brothers to fold. We don't, it's not about money with us. It's about ruling the kingdom that's going to come after this kingdom. You know what I'm saying? I want to be ruling the kingdom that's going to come after this kingdom.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I want to be one of the 144,000. So I'm damn well going to make my election sure. You got that? All right, give me that.
John chapter 1, verse 46. And Nathanael said unto him, can there any good thing come out of Nazareth?
Now this is Christ. Christ came on the scene, and they like, damn, can any good thing come out of Nazareth? Because Christ is saying, I'm the Son of Man, right? And this is they've been hearing about this their whole lives. Now they're saying, can any good thing come out of Nazareth? Why are they saying that? They saying that because Nazareth was like Chirac. Nazareth was like Compton. Nazareth was like San Bernardino. Nazareth was somewhere where it was a lot of poverty. Blacks and Hispanics broke, going through it, crime-ridden. And they saying the Son of God is coming for it. Can this be that he's coming from here? We thought he was going to come from Beverly Hills. Right. We thought he was going to come where Nick Cannon is at. You know what I'm saying? He's coming from the bottom of the bottom. Read it again.
Verse 46. And Nathanael said unto him, can there any good thing out of Nazareth?
Ray, read that again. Start it
like it, sir. And Nathanael said unto him, can there any good thing come out of Nazareth?
Can any good thing come out of San Bernardino? That's what we're doing right now. This is a good thing that's coming out of San Bernardino. You get what I'm saying? Brothers getting raised up under the Lord, up under the Isupk, up under Commanding General Yohana. You get what I'm saying? This is the good thing. But people will look at us and say, who the hell are them? But they don't even look like men of God. Like, that's not the truth. That's not God. You know how Christians say, that's not God. That ain't of the Lord. They got a devil on them. I plead the blood on them. Ooh, I'm gonna pray for them. Because they don't know what they're talking about. You know what I'm saying? Meanwhile, they don't even know the goddamn Bible. You can drop that, brother. But what I want to get to is the fact that I want to bring out some archaeology real quick. So like it, Cap. I want to read. Now, this is a book called The Nazis by Time Life magazine, right? Mm-hmm. It's in a series. So I don't know if I can get this on the camera. Hey, brother, can you come right here and look at the camera? Let me know if I'm getting it on the camera. So right here we have Hitler. Hitler. It's on the camera. Look at it.
Right there, sir.
I'm gonna hold it right here. So right here we have Hitler. Hitler and his generals, what they did was they did the research on the Jews. Now, you know, in Germany, you had the Germans and you had the so-called Jews living at the same time, right? And so what Hitler then found out that the Jews was really what you would call an Asiatic or Oriental or Asiatic, right? So the word Asiatic don't mean what it means today. The word in ancient times, or Asia Minor, Asiatic, was basically people that came from the Levant or the Fertile Crescent, which is the area of Israel, Mesopotamia, Babylon. So it would have been Egyptians, Hebrews, Phoenicians, such and such, right? So that's what they found out. They also said that they were probably Ham also, right? Which we know is not true. We just read that you wasn't here, brother, but we just read that there's a difference between the Hamites and the Israelites in the Bible, right? And so the Jew that was living in Germany, right? He said, this is the word for bastard. Called him a bastard. Anybody know why Hitler called the Jews that were the people in Eastern Europe that were calling themselves Jews a bastard? Well, what he did, he found out that they wasn't related to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and that black people are the real true Jews. He called them a bastard because what is a bastard? A bastard is an illegitimate child, so to speak. A bastard is a fatherless child. And now these people are saying, oh, we the real Jews, right? And That's why I said Nick Cannon didn't really have to apologize. He didn't say nothing wrong. But see, he's a celebrity and he's only about his bread. So he folded. You get what I'm saying? Now this book is, I think it's from like, it's called Our Living Bible. It's from 1960. I don't want to chop it up. It's from the 1960s, right? Right here, this is on the walls of ancient Egypt. You have Hebrews, or they call them Semites. Remember, Nick Cannon said black people are the real Semites, right? And they got on them for saying black people are the real Semites. Well, these are real Semites. They got afros and beards, right? Who wears afros and beards? These is real Semites on the walls of Egypt. How did they turn white? How did they start looking like those so-called Jews we see today? When did that happen? Right. You feel what I'm saying? So look, all we have to do is really do the research, you know what I mean, and find out that the real Jews was black. You know what I'm saying? This is also from the time of Germany with the fake Jews living in Germany. Hitler was against jazz music. The fake Jews went and learned jazz music from black people in America and took it back to Germany. And the Germans said that it's going to destroy their society, that type of music. They called it jungle music because they knew where it came from. And they put out propaganda like this this is a caricature of a black man. You know how the white man used to make us big lips, look like a monkey. And he's blowing the jazz with the shield of David on. Now either Hitler is saying that the black man is the real Jew, or he's just so disrespectful to the fake Jews to say, listen, you went and got the music from these niggas. You went and got your flavor from these niggas. You get what I'm saying? Either way, or we the salt of the earth. You get what I'm saying? We the salt of the earth. Matter of fact, give me that. Salt of the earth. Either way, or we the salt of the earth. So we the real Jews. You know what I'm saying? And all it takes is for us to go into the records and really look at it and be like, damn, you cannot, like, you can give me any Jewish rabbi, any Jewish scholar. It don't even have to be me. It could be a trooper, a young man, which y'all just learned. Y'all two brothers, young men. It could be you, what you just learned right now, and you can smoke a Jewish rabbi in the truth. Right. You get what I'm saying? What you just learned right now, you can say, well, what about this? Explain, how did y'all go from looking like this? This is on the walls of Egypt, right? How do you go from afros and beards to white? You get what I'm saying? To where not 80% of them wear glasses because of incest, right? How did you go from that to what you are today? And you can crush them, you know what I'm saying? But see, when you love this world like Nick Cannon, you can't stand for black people. But in the Isupk, we can stand for black people. But a fake Jew will never, they'll never sit down and debate me, debate Captain Cesario, debate General Yohana. They'll never sit down and do that because they'll be put on blast in front of the whole world. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Got that, Tapuan?
Yes, sir. This is Matthew 5:13. Ye are the salt of the earth.
The Bible says we are the salt of the earth. What does salt do?
Add flavor.
It adds flavor. It adds flavor to a meal. It adds flavor to a recipe, right? We are the salt of the earth, so we give flavor to the earth. We make the earth better. We make the earth bearable. Go ahead, Al.
Ye are the salt of the earth. But if the salt has lost its savor,
keep reading.
Wherewith shall it be salted?
So we the salt of the earth. We the best at this and that. We great inventors. You know, we do all kind of things that are just amazing as Black and Hispanic people. And the whole world takes what we do, they package it up, and then they commercialize it and they make bread off of it.
Right.
See, we the salt of the earth, but if the salt loses savor, right? If you don't have the law, statute, and commandments, keep reading.
Wherewith shall it be salted?
Wherewith shall it be salted? Keep reading.
It is thenceforth good for nothing.
It's good for nothing. If we don't have the law, statute, and commandments, if we don't know who we are, which we talked about earlier, we don't have an identity. We got all this goddamn talent. We the best singers, dancers. We make the best food. Hell, I was just down there. It's a spot down there on Highland and State Street where all the Israelites is setting up shop outside cooking all kind of Mexican food, man. And I've been hitting this spot, having my rib go there every day because the food is just spectacular. Food is spectacular, and I'm like, man, it ain't nothing like this. And I'm looking at all the people, and they just got so much talent, and everybody got a long line. People standing in each line, everybody got something different, and they making it right there. Fresh tortillas, churros, birria, tacos, everything. You know what I'm saying? Funnel cakes, everything. And I'm like, damn, this is like, could you imagine a kingdom where it's blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians? We just talking about black people and Mexicans right now, where we at. But imagine you can go to a spot where it's Cuban food, Puerto Rican food. You know what I'm saying? What is it? Panamanian food. You know what I'm saying? Like, just imagine Haitian food. I don't even know what Haitian food tastes like. You know what I'm saying? So just imagine a place where we could go, where all of our talents, we got everything going for us, and you can deal with this brother and that brother, and you know what I'm saying, do this and that. But see, here in America, we don't have an identity. We don't know who we are. Read it. Go back.
Yes,
Salaki.
From the top.
From the top.
Matthew 5:13. Ye are the salt of the earth. But if the salt has lost its savor, wherewith shall it be salted? It is thenceforth good for nothing.
Good for nothing.
But to be cast out and to be trodden under foot of men.
Trodden under foot of men. So that's what happens. Right before, when this COVID happened, what did Kyrie say? Kyrie said, we can start our own league. And I was like, oh, now he's on to something. He's on to something. Like, we can start our own league. We don't need, these NBA owners and all that. That was because brothers was hot off of what happened to George Floyd. You know what I'm saying? That oppression make a nigga kind of upset. Like, nigga, we don't even need y'all. Like, we can do this on our own. Like, listen, I would go to a park and look at LeBron James. I would pay to see LeBron James and Kevin Durant duke it out at a basketball park. Right. You know what I'm saying? People will still pay money. They'll still get bread. You know what I'm saying? They can survive without the white man's leagues. You know what I'm saying? But then brothers forgot about that. They put on the Breonna Taylor shirts and started balling in the gym at, Disney World. They forgot about it. But our talents and all our abilities is good for nothing if we don't have the law, statute, commandments. Don't matter if we the salt of the earth.
Right.
They just gonna try. Everything is under the foot of the white man, and he's making all the money while we still languish in the barrios and the ghettos, man. We still dying. We still getting killed. Brothers is still getting killed. Brothers is still like I don't know what's wrong with us, but niggas don't want right back to sleep. Right. Brothers is getting killed by the police to this day, man. Like, it's still been a lot of deaths. Ain't nobody said nothing about. You know what I'm saying? Is that it on it? Go ahead.
Jeremiah 2:14.
Okay.
It says, is Israel a servant? Is he a homeborn slave?
Yeah, are we servants? Keep going.
Why is he spoiled?
Why is he spoiled? Why are we spoiled? We spoiled just like some meat is spoiled, right? The word spoil has a lot of different meanings. But when meat spoils, what do you do with it? It's good for nothing. When meat spoils, when a person is selling meat and it spoils, it didn't lost its value. They got to throw it away. You know what I'm saying? That's us. We're spoiled. Like, why is we spoiled? Are we homeborn slaves? Hell no, we ain't slaves. You get what I'm saying? Not if we learn this truth. See, black people that's in the world, they are afraid to say what we say because they are slaves. But once you come into the knowledge of the truth, hell, you a free man. You say what the hell you want. You say the white man is the devil. You say the thing that's going to make them upset. You know what I'm saying? You say the very thing that most black people would say, I'm not saying that. They say, at work, the brothers, when they want to talk about the white man, they voice get real low. Like, these white people, these white people, man. They, that's how our people are. We're afraid to speak our mind, to say what it really is. The only time you've seen people really say what it really is was with George Floyd, because we was angry. Everything boiled over. But now we going right back into that state where we're afraid to say what the truth is. Well, in here we're not afraid to say what the truth is.
Right.
We'll say the white man is the devil. We say the white woman is the devil.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We'll say that they're going to be put to death when Jesus Christ returns. We'll say everything that we need to say to liberate the minds and the hearts of our people.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Is that it on out?
Come.
Give me oppression makes a wise man mad. Ecclesiastes 7:7. Yeah, so that's what it is. Like, you know, I'm not backing down from nothing. If it has to be said, it has to be said, man. And you have to get to a point where you're tired of seeing what's happening with your people. It's not a lot of brothers. Don't think for a moment that you like, oh, I like that. I like what they're saying. I like what they do. I want to go and check it out. I want to choose it. Don't think that you chose to be here, brothers. The Lord chose you to be here. Don't think that, oh, you know, earlier you told me, I said, how you get here? You said, your boy told you, right? But that was the Lord telling you he was choosing you to come in. You know what I mean? So that's all that is. Like a lot of brothers come in, you know what I mean? And they don't realize that they think they doing it. They think they making the decisions, and you don't understand how precious this truth is. Like, this truth is so precious, and everybody ain't gonna hold on to it. What you gotta understand is that everybody that was rolling with Christ, they stopped following Christ. You know what I'm saying? Christ was the man, and you still had niggas that said, you know what you saying is, it's a little too much for me. You know, I'm gonna go back, you know, do what I was doing before. Right. You know what I'm saying? So you got to understand that, like, this is for a chosen few. This ain't for everybody. The army of the Lord ain't for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Everybody can't come up in these ranks. Go ahead,
Come. Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 7. Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad.
And man, oppression make a wise man mad. If you're not mad at what you see, you are ignorant to what is going on with your people. If you're not mad, oppression you should be angry at what you see. But a lot of times what you see our people do is they keep trying to live the life and keep trying to realize their dreams and, you know, have ambition in America, and they don't even see what's happening to their people because they so focused on their dreams and aspirations. Meanwhile, you got brothers that are just pissed off, that's burning. It's just a flame inside my chest about what's happening to our people. You get what I'm saying? I just seen a video today. Brother, it was tear-worthy, brother. I had to turn the video off because, you know, the back of my eyes started burning. You get what I'm saying? When I see what happens to my people, it's like, I'm upset, man. But the Bible said you can be angry. You just can't sin. But you can be angry. You can be upset for what's happening to your people. Read it from the top again.
Come. Yes, sir. Ecclesiastes 7:7. Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad.
And if you ain't mad at the oppression that your people going through, you're not wise.
Right.
Straight up and down, you're not wise. You don't have no wisdom. You can get in here and learn wisdom, but at this point, if you're not mad at what's going on with your people, you're not wise at all. Keep going.
And a gift destroyeth the heart.
Damn. And a gift destroyeth the heart. What I talked about, a gift is that thing that the white man gives you that takes your love away from your people. That money, that contract that you got, that makes you say, you know what? I'm going to apologize to the Jewish community. That gift, that's what was in Nick Cannon's heart. That gift made him he had a change of heart. Read it again, Salakia.
And a gift destroyeth the heart.
Well, didn't it used to be a show called Change Your Heart? That gift destroys the heart. It gave Nick Cannon a change of heart. That money that they pay him, he thought about it. He considered it. And he said, you know what? I want to apologize to the Jewish community and all the pain that I caused them. And he wasn't even wrong for what he said. He was absolutely right for saying that the real Semites or the real Jews are black. Saying that the white man is like an animal, right? He is like an animal that eats and gobbles up every stench of land and every identity that he can. The white man that stole everybody's identity. White man basically saying he's Native American Indian today. White man is hell. He's South African. White man is what? He's Australian. White man is he's everything. You know what I'm saying? Everybody he kills, murders, and gobbles up their land. Then he says, "Listen, I'm them. I'm them. I'm an Aboriginal." You get what I'm saying? That gift that Nick Cannon got destroyed his heart, man. But oppression makes a wise man mad. The Bible is showing you something, that loving your people is not about money. Loving your people is about loving your people. You know what I'm saying? Loving your people is strictly that. And it'll make you upset to see what's happening to your people. But money, fame, fortune, a great career, a nice contract, get your family out the hood will change your mind about what's going on. Oh, let me throw that one in. Having a white girl will change your mind about what's happening to your people. Because all the brothers get a contract, they got to get them a white woman. They ain't dealing with the sister that was struggling with them in the hood, the sister that understands all your issues. You forget about her, you know what I mean? But all of that combined will make you forget about what's happening to your people and just overlook it and say, oh, you know what? That was just a single incident. Things are going to get better. We got to vote. See, that's why we all got to go to the voting booths and make a change. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing right now. Go and vote. You know what I'm saying? As though voting has ever done anything for Black and Hispanic people. Voting ain't never did nothing for us. You get what I'm saying? What it say? The hood is the same under Trump as it was under Obama. Don't nothing change for us in the hood.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That wealth don't trickle down. But in the kingdom of heaven, if we keep these law, statutes, and commandments, right, we all be balling out of control in righteousness. You know what I'm saying? And all of the people that's oppressing us will be up under our foot. You get what I'm saying? Figuratively, they'll be up under our knees. Our knees will be on their necks. Figuratively. You get what I'm saying? The white man will be looking for an unemployment check. He'll be trying to do scams to get money and trying to get approved for WIC, trying to get approved for EBT. You get what I'm saying? In our kingdom, the tables will be turned. But we got to keep the law, statutes, and commandments, man. We got to keep pushing, and we got to keep doing what we've been doing, going to the streets and waking up the children of Israel. Is that it on y'all? All right. Any questions, Akim? Any questions in the chat? Is it the chat? Can you monitor the chat? Let me know if there's any questions in the chat. You ready? All right. I'm gonna pass the class to Captain Goddard. Oh, yeah, go ahead, Captain Goddard. Is you ready? Yeah. Yeah, you can ice. Stop. All right, get a brother hand. Y'all got any questions? Any questions on any topics? Let me know. All right, no sweat. Good to go. Let me get okay, let me see something. I was going over something last night. 1 second. Or 2 nights ago. Give me the story with what were we talking about the other night?
It's like, sir, with the woman.
Yeah, it was not that breakdown. Let me see. With the Esau going through the land.
Amalek.
Yeah, let me get the Amalek, right? Let me get the Amalek. First, let me get who Amalek is in the Bible. Anybody know who the Amalekites are in the Bible? Go ahead, young Justin. Go ahead. No, it's good. It's good.
Sir, the Jewish man?
Yeah, the Jewish man, right? All right, let's go to
What's that? Revelation 3 and 9.
Revelation 3:9.
Is it 2 and 9 and 3 and 9, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, let me get the first one. Let me get the first one of Revelations 3 and 9, and then let's go to 2 and 9, all right?
Time. Revelation chapter 3, verse 9.
Mm-hmm.
Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews,
Say it again.
which say they are Jews,
Right, the Bible talks about making them. Who's them? The people who say they are Jews. You understand that, right?
Right.
In the Bible, it talks about making someone the synagogue of Satan. What does the synagogue of Satan mean? Coming up.
The chief house of Satan.
Right. The leaders of Edom. You understand? The chief tribe of the so-called white man. There's so many different white people, right?
Right.
You understand that? How many white people are there? There's, Polish white people, Russians, Germans. Give me more. European, huh? Australians, Europeans. You know what I'm saying? Give me more. They're not really the real Australians, though.
Italians.
Italians. You know what I'm saying? That's like European, though.
Okay.
Like all these different white men, right? The Lord said, out of all the white men on the face of the earth, the so-called Jewish man was going to be the chief tribe. He's going to be the synagogue of Satan, right? Go ahead.
Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews,
Which say they are Jews,
and are not.
and they're not Jews. Y'all understand this, right? That's in the Bible. So now the hatred for the so-called Jewish man and all white people, according to the Bible, is written throughout history. And where does it start in history? Anybody know? With the so-called Jewish man. Everybody know where God's hate starts with him. Go ahead, Justin.
So is it with Esau and Jacob?
No, not with Esau and Jacob. Okay, Khan, I'll take that. But with the Jewish man specifically, though, I need that. I said it earlier. Lahab, go ahead.
I was going to say when the Amalekites, when they killed the children of Israel, when they passed through the wilderness,
Say it again.
they were going to the wilderness,
Mm-hmm.
and the Jewish.
Give me that precept back in Deuteronomy. There was a time we talked about. That's what we talked about, right? There's a time where
Yes, sir.
the children of Israel were traveling through countries, right? They traveling through countries, and they passed through the land of the Amalekites. And when they passed through their land, the Amalekites did not like it because they was drinking water. You know what I'm saying? They travel and they start what you call sojourning to a new homeland. And during their traveling, you know what I'm saying, they go through that country. They go through the country of the Amalekites, right? And they ambush them. They ambush the brothers and the sisters that were at the hinder parts of the people journeying. The hinder parts meaning the back or the parts that was weak. You understand this, right? Pull that for me out when you got it. It's in Deuteronomy or is it Exodus? That one.
Because I was
The walk, sorry.
going to add that the hinder parts of the people that was sick and old that would be at the back of the caravan.
They were sick, old, weak, right? Just let me know when you got it. It's in Deuteronomy. And then also give me the one in Samuel where he went and he told Saul the order to kill all of them. All right? Agag, right. You got it?
Not yet, sir.
It might not be in Deuteronomy. It might be in Exodus. Let me see. Go ahead.
Can I sidebar?
Go ahead.
I was going to say, like, kind of about a point. It's in the book of Chosen People from Conscious Mountains.
Okay.
Or in that book,
Mhm.
it's saying, like, most of the people that were coming from, like, the conquistadors,
Yeah.
a lot of the conquistadors were Jewish people.
Go ahead.
Like, the whole time we thought they were Spaniards.
Mhm.
Well, some of them were Spaniards, but a lot of them were Jewish people. I never knew that day in my life, so I came in here. That's like no one ever thought about that. No one ever knew that those were Jewish people that were killing the Aztecs, the Incas, and the Mayans.
Right.
I want to say maybe the Native American Indians too, and the West Indians.
Yeah, the Cubans too.
Cubans.
That's where you get them. A lot of Spaniard, so-called Jewish people who live in Cuba.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? They out there rocking shields and all that.
Right.
And they supposed to be. I think they identify as Jewish Cubans.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But they're Spaniards. You know what I mean? You got to hear that? No sweat, no sweat. The word hinder is in it. Hinder parts. If not, we can come back to it. You got this. You got one with Agar?
I found it 1 second now.
I want the order though. I want the order that came down first to kill all the Amalekites.
Okay, it's 1 Samuel 15, chapter 15, verse 1.
Go ahead. Let me hear it.
Samuel also said unto Saul.
Now, I'll give you some context. Samuel is the chief, right? I mean, is the priest of God. This is God's mouthpiece on earth. You understand? Saul is the king. He's the king over Israel. You get what I mean? So Saul is giving, Samuel is giving Saul an order. Go ahead.
1 Samuel chapter 15, verse 1. Samuel also said unto Saul, the Lord sent me to anoint thee to be king over his people, over Israel.
Go ahead.
Now therefore hearken unto the voice of the words of the Lord. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, remember that which Amalek did to Israel, how he laid wait for him in the way, when he came up from Egypt. Now go and...
Hold on, read that part again.
Verse 2. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, I remember that which Amalek did to Israel, how he laid wait for him in the way.
Say it again, how he what?
How he laid wait for him in the way.
You hear that, right? I remember what Amalek did to Israel. That's what it said, right?
Come.
Now the Lord, this happened about I want to say 500 to 600 years before, when they laid in wait and killed the children of Israel. The Lord doesn't never forget. Y'all understand that, right?
Right.
That you will always get what you got it up?
Man, I got a part.
I need hinder is the word hindering.
I got that one.
You got that one?
It's hindmost.
It's not hidden.
It's hindmost.
Hidden most parts?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's it then. All right, read it from the top one more time. The Walker Boy.
1 Samuel chapter 15, verse 1.
Now, Saul was the king of Israel who did a lot of amazing things, and then towards his end of his reign, he started to become weak. You understand? He started to become weak because there was another brother that was coming up who was very strong, and he obeyed the Lord. Saul did not obey the Lord, and this was the last straw that the Lord gave him when he didn't obey this order. Go ahead.
Samuel also said unto Saul, the Lord sent me to anoint thee to be king over his people, over Israel.
Go ahead.
Now therefore hearken thou unto the voice of the words of the Lord. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, I remember that which Amalek did to Israel, how he laid wait for him in the way.
How he laid wait for him in the way. Go ahead.
When he came up from Egypt.
When he came up from Egypt. Remember, we was coming out of Egypt. Go ahead.
Now go and smite Amalek.
Go and what?
Go and smite Amalek.
Go ahead.
And utterly destroy all that they had.
And utterly destroy all that they had. Anybody know what it means to utterly destroy something? You can take a guess. Comment down.
Like utmost or like definitely?
Yes, kill everything. Now, he would, to say utterly destroy is to leave nothing. You get what I mean?
Right.
Go ahead.
Would it be like to destroy down to the foundation?
Exactly. Same thing. Same thing. Go ahead.
Verse 3. Now go and smite Amalek and utterly destroy all that they have, and spare them not, but slay both.
But what?
And spare them not.
You hear that, right? The Lord said not to spare them, spare them not. So now you know he didn't follow the order because you got a Jewish man today, right? Now, if Saul was to obey the order, you would have never seen a Jewish man. You understand this, right?
Right.
There would never been no so-called Jewish man running the world if Saul completed the order. That's why you should what? The wall.
Complete the order.
Complete the order. Y'all understand that, right?
Okay.
Any order that you're given, assume, don't even assume, just know it's coming from the Lord. You understand?
Right.
The brother said, hand me that cup. The Lord told him to hand me that cup. Y'all with me?
Right. Yeah.
When the brother says utterly destroy, that means kill everything. The Lord said he's not an author of confusion. You understand that, right? He don't mean kill everything and, save one person. He mean kill everything. Y'all with me?
Right.
Go ahead, Dawal.
He said, and spare them not, but slay both man and woman.
But slay both what?
But slay both man and woman. Infant and suckling.
Go ahead.
Ox and sheep. Camel and ass.
Mm-hmm.
And Saul gathered the people together and numbered them in Telaim 200,000 footmen and 10,000 men of Judah.
Stop right there. Now, give me that part. Give me that precept where he was talking about it. Remember, he quoted it in the Bible, right? He quoted and said, I remember, right? Let's get it.
Deuteronomy 25 and 17.
Mm-hmm.
Remember what Amalek did unto thee by the way when you were come forth out of Egypt, how he met thee by the way and smote the hindmost of thee.
Not the superiors, not the brothers in the front, not the captains and the generals and the captains and the officers, not the army, right? But the people who was in the soft spot. You understand? It's just like an Esau, a snake, to do something like that.
Right.
You know what I mean? He's a coward, and cowards would do that. The Lord doesn't respect your ambush. You understand?
Right.
The Lord didn't respect it. That's why he remembered it, and that's why he took revenge. Even though it happened 600 years later. It's like poetry with the Lord. He waits. He waits. Then he finds the perfect time to kill you, and then you don't complete the order. And then he uses that you didn't complete the order to destroy you. Y'all with me?
Right.
Any more on that?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
How he met thee by the way and smote the hindmost of thee,
Mm-hmm.
even all that were feeble behind thee, when thou wast faint and weary, and he feared not God.
And he feared not God. He could have. What? Let me ask you this: what would Israel would have done if the Amalekites was coming through their land, trying to get to another land? What if Israel would have done? The wall.
They would have let them go through and probably would have offered them refreshment.
You damn. Because you know why? Not because we're sellouts, but we have class.
Right.
You understand? He's classless.
Right.
Like black people are the most forgiving and loving people on the face of the earth. You can't tell me nothing. You can't tell me nothing else.
Right.
You get what I mean? Black people are gonna be like, they gonna see what's going on. They're going to come to you and they're gonna help you get out of there. Right. Am I saying something wrong? Y'all know that, right?
Right.
But you see how he is, right? Because he's such an evil, disgusting bastard, he had to do that, right? So now, go ahead.
I was gonna say, a car full of white people can flip over right here, and all the black Hispanic bums is gonna go over there and try to help them.
Right.
Right.
God, they gonna give them money.
Right.
They're gonna give them money, right? So we good on that, right? Mm-hmm. Now drop down to the part where he talks about where he didn't complete the order, right? Go ahead.
Okay.
And I need
where
this,
Saul
and
didn't complete the order, or where Samuel say he's grieved that he settled.
That part. Samuel said he's grieved. I think it's in the 5th.
Okay, I got it. I'm skipping down. 1 Samuel chapter 15, verse 10.
Now listen carefully, because Samuel says something in here that's so cold, right? Go ahead.
Verse 10. Then came the word of the Lord unto Samuel.
This is before he goes and takes the knife to the king, right?
When he goes.
I need it before he goes and kills Agag.
Oh, he's talking about that one part where he says.
It might be 15 and 5.
And 5, okay, let me see.
We said,
Nope.
thou swore made children.
That
Yo,
one.
I got you.
That one. But I need the lead up to it, all right?
Come.
33.
Yeah, it's just a little further down.
It's 33?
Swore made that. Yeah, it's go up to start at 7 cents and a half. Keep.
What does he say he's grieved, though? I need to hear that, too.
He's grieved.
When I just said that's all I was gonna get to.
Go ahead, read that first.
Okay, verse 10. Then came the word of the Lord unto Samuel, saying, It repenteth me that I have set up Saul to be king, for he turned back from following me, and have not performed my commandments. And he grieved Samuel, and he cried unto the Lord all night. And when Samuel rose early to meet Saul in the morning, it was told Samuel, saying, Saul came to Carmel, and behold, he set him up a place, and is gone about, and passed on, and gone down to Gilgal.
Mm-hmm.
And Samuel came to Saul, and Saul said unto him, Blessed be thou of the Lord. I have performed the commandment of the Lord.
You hear him, right? He said, Blessed be the Lord. I performed the commandment of the Lord. Now he said he hears something. Go ahead.
And Samuel said, what meaning then this bleating of the sheep in my ears?
What does bleating mean? Bleating. Comment out.
So like bleeding, like the noise.
Yeah, like crying. They're bleeding. Like, go ahead.
Like the bad.
Yeah, kind of.
Because he said to utterly kill everything.
Everything. All right. Give me Malachi 3 and 6. Go ahead.
Verse 14, and Samuel said, what meaneth then this bleating of the sheep in my ears, and the lowing of the oxen which I hear?
Mm-hmm.
And Saul said, they have brought them from the Amalekites, for the people spared the best of the sheep and of the oxen to sacrifice unto the Lord thy God, and the rest we have utterly destroyed. Then Samuel said unto Saul, stay, and I will tell thee what the Lord hath said to me this night. And he said unto him, say on. And
you can stop right there.
Okay.
Now take me to the part.
Drop down to 26.
So now he hears it, right? He hears what happened, and he's saying you did not complete the work. And he said, did he already talk about how he's grieved, right?
Right.
Right. He's grieved because why? Because Samuel loved Saul. Y'all understand that, right?
Right.
He like raised Saul to be the king over Israel. Raised him up, took care of him, counseled him, and the brother still failed. Y'all with me? He failed. All because he was what? What was wrong with Saul? Go ahead, Quan.
Sorry, he was greedy.
He was greedy. You understand that, right? Go ahead.
Oh, he got big-headed.
Yeah, he got big-headed. He was greedy. It was greedy. He wanted to be a millionaire. Right. He wanted to have all the riches. You understand that, right? And he had a damn, what he didn't kill, a sheep and some oxen.
Yeah.
Right. You take those things back in the day and go breed them and go make so much money.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But the thing is what? He did not trust in the Lord. Right? He did trust in the Lord. And because he didn't trust in the Lord, he lost the kingdom. He did exactly what a Christian would do. You understand? Go ahead, DeWalt.
Verse 26. And Samuel said unto Saul, I will not return with thee, for thou hast rejected the word of the Lord, and the Lord hath rejected thee from being king over Israel.
I hear that, right?
Right.
He said, I will not return with thee. I rejected. The Lord said he reject you, and I reject you too. And now he had to go do what now? What does Samuel have to go do? Comment out.
He needs to find another man to replace him.
Yeah. Who everybody know who that man was, right? I mean, who was the man? Go ahead. Yeah, King David, right? King David would have no problem killing anybody. Right. Y'all understand that, right? King David got the most bodies on earth ever. Y'all understand? Esau might got him. But David, you know what I'm saying? You're going to have to tell David to stop killing people. Right. You get what I mean? So keep going.
Verse 27.
Give me to the part where he about to kill the king now.
Okay, so verse 32.
32, there you go.
Then said Samuel.
This is funny. Read 31. Mm-hmm.
Verse 31. So Samuel turned again after Saul, and Saul worshipped.
Go to 30.
Verse 30. Then he said, I have sinned, yet honor me now, I pray thee, before the elders of my people and before Israel, and turn again with me, that I may worship the Lord thy God.
Somebody look at the word senile. Senile. Y'all, that sounds familiar, right? It's something to do with your mental state, right? Go ahead, keep going.
So Samuel turned again after Saul, and Saul worshipped the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 32. Then said Samuel, bring ye hither me Agag, the king of the Amalekites.
Go ahead.
And Agag came unto him delicately.
Go ahead.
And Agag said, surely the bitterness of death is past.
God, what is Agag saying to Samuel? I know you know. Anybody else want to give this? Go ahead, DeWalt.
Like, I know y'all done let it go. I know it's like, I know you don't give it past. Like,
read it again. Read it again.
Verse 32.
He says, surely what?
Then said Samuel, bring ye hither to me Agag, the king of the Amalekites. And Agag came unto him delicately. And Agag said, surely the bitterness of death is past.
Y'all understand that, right? He chilling in chains somewhere, right? And they bringing up Agag. He like, I mean, you know, I know you still ain't mad. It's been days. Y'all got everything.
Right.
No, go ahead. Keep reading.
Verse 33. And Samuel said, as thy sword had made women childless,
Listen.
so shall thy mother.
Hold on, read that slow, please, from the top.
Verse 33.
This is like a, it should go on the wall somewhere. This precept should go on the wall somewhere in this room. We got to find the spot for it. Go ahead.
Verse 33. And Samuel said, as thy sword hath made women childless, so shall thy mother be childless among women. And Samuel hewed Agag in pieces before the Lord in Gilgal.
Y'all understand that, right? He had to do it. He had to kill him because Saul didn't have the heart to. Y'all with me?
Right.
He didn't have the heart to. You want to say something?
Definition.
God. See now? Go ahead.
Definition of senile. Of a person having or showing the weakness or disease of old age, especially loss of mental facilities.
That's what happened to
or faculties.
That's what happened to Saul. You understand? Sometimes you get old, you lose your militant spirit. You lose those things that you once had when you was a young man. You understand? And he became senile. And most of it came because of his stiff-necked, hard-headed decisions. You understand? And he saw how the Lord showed him in his face how this brother, because of his mistakes, and this young brother was coming up, was going to be better than him. And not only better than him, more respected than him in his reign. You see how the Lord can shame you? You understand? So that's something you don't want. You don't want to be in charge and then fail so badly, like Saul did, and have some other brother just, be the glory of what you should have because you disobeyed God. Y'all understand? Good to go on that? Any other questions? Any questions on this? All right, let me get Revelations 2 and 9. Go ahead, Dr.
Still with Malachi, sir?
Yeah, give me Malachi real quick. Just to show how the Lord is, right? Go ahead.
Malachi 3 and 6. For I am the Lord, I change not.
Y'all hear that, right? The Lord said he changed not. Ain't no, the way God was back then in Genesis and throughout the whole Bible is the same way God is to this day. Y'all understand?
Right.
There's nothing that changed, God's mind. There's nothing that can change God's mind as far as who he loves and who he hates. Y'all understand? What is written in the Bible is for us to learn. And we go and learn these things and we bring it out. The only thing that's came into the world that's changed is the doctrine of how it's supposed to be put out. That's the thing that changes. And that's the thing that destroys men. Y'all with me? Good to go? All right, give me Revelations 2 and 9. And also give me author of confusion. I think that's in Corinthians, right?
Right.
And just let me know if y'all have any questions. We can go over it, all right? Go ahead.
I got a question. You want to wait?
Yeah, let me get these two precepts and we'll get yours. You got it?
Yes, sir. Revelation chapter 2, verse 9. I know thy works and tribulation.
I know thy works and tribulation. Go ahead. What's tribulation? What's a tribulation? Somebody look that up. You hear all that. You always heard trials and tribulation, right? What's the tribulation mean? Give me the definition. I know y'all know what the idea of it is. Let me get the definition. Go ahead.
Tribulation, a cause of great trouble or suffering.
Right, you hear that, right? So your trials are the things you go through. The tribulations is the sufferings that you endure, right? So this is the Lord saying, I know your faith, meaning it's like I know your works, meaning the faith, right? The faith you have, and I know your trials and your tribulations. Did he say trials and tribulations?
In that verse, just tribulation.
He said he knows your suffering, right? He knows it. Go ahead.
I know thy works and tribulation and poverty.
And he knows your poverty, right? So these are all characteristics of who? Black people, right? He knows your work. He said works, right?
Right.
He knows your works. He knows your tribulation, and he knows your poverty, right? He's saying these things. Keep going.
But thou art rich.
But thou art rich. That's what he said. He said all those things, but he said, listen, you're rich. Rich how? How are you rich? Commandant.
So like we're going to inherit the kingdom.
That's it. The Bible says the meek shall inherit the earth, right? So he's saying, all those things I know. He knows. But then he said, but you're rich though. Go ahead.
I had a precept to
Let me hear it.
James 2:5.
Go ahead.
Hearken, my beloved brethren, hath not God chosen the poor of this world, rich in faith, and heirs of the kingdom, which he hath promised to them that love him?
Read it from the top. Now, James is saying what? He said, listen, man, hearken is, I want to start saying that, man. I'm going to say, y'all brothers are now hearkening to me. He said, hearken, right? Read it from the top.
Come. James 2:5. Hearken, my beloved brethren.
Hearken, my beloved brethren. Go ahead.
Hath not God chosen the poor of this world, rich in faith, and heirs of the kingdom, which he hath promised to them that love him?
Come on, man. Rich in faith. You know that's us.
Right.
Like, ain't nobody got more faith than the brothers in UPK. Right. Like, say if all this was a lie, like, we would live this until we die. Right. Y'all understand that? Like we know this is the truth. But imagine this was a lie. We would live like this until we were dead. Because that's how much faith we have. Because we know that what? All we have is what? That's true. That's not what I'm looking for. All we have is hope. It's the only thing we have. When you're on the bottom, the only way you can go is where? Up. Y'all understand that, right? That's the only way. We're at the bottom. We tried everything under the sun. Nothing worked. So we know that when we came into the truth, this was the very thing because we actually seen it with our eyes. Right? Keep going.
Revelation 2:9. I know thy works and tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich. And I know the blasphemy.
And I know the what?
Blasphemy.
Look up the word blasphemy. Everybody know what blasphemy means, right? Let's look up the word blasphemy in the Bible. Right? Give me the definition of blasphemy. Because you got to understand these words. Y'all know them. But to really understand them is to define them. Go ahead. Stop on the walk.
Blasphemy. The act or offense of speaking sacrilegiously about God or sacred things.
You understand?
Profane talk.
Oh, sacrilegious or profane talk about religious things. That's blasphemy. Y'all understand that, right?
Right.
Like you see how stronger the word is when you truly define it, right? He's saying because of all the profanity that these devils then put in the Bible, the sacrilege. Give me another. What's another word he said in there? Go ahead.
Here's another one. It says, blasphemy is the act of insulting or showing contempt or lack of reverence to a god or deity or sacred objects towards something considered sacred or inviolable.
And who's sacred? The children of Israel.
Right.
Quan.
Sacrilegious, the definition of that is saying what you're saying too.
What?
Sacrilegious says involving or committing sacrilege, committing a characteristic of sacrilege, or having or showing a lack of proper respect for a sacred person or place or entity.
Y'all understand that, right? They disrespect us by saying that who they are, and they know they're not. Like he knows he's not.
Right.
Y'all know Seth Rogen, right? That devil.
Damn,
the Jewish devil, right?
Yeah.
He says everything I learned was a lie. Right. He says that. He said like they just told me made up stuff and I just went with it.
Right.
Which we did too in Christianity. So like we didn't believe Christianity.
Right.
The only thing we really wanted to believe about Christianity is you can say a prayer and go to heaven on your deathbed. Y'all remember that?
Right.
Y'all ever heard that before? Oh, y'all never heard that? That's a lie. I was waiting on that my whole life. I said, I know if I die, I can say a quick prayer and I'm good.
Right.
You get what I mean? And that's a lie.
Right.
That was a lie, right? And the Bible talks about how they blaspheme our name.
Right.
Blaspheme who we are. Go ahead.
This off the top, but I'm pretty sure when brothers are laying in the street after being gunned down and they're taking their last breath, they're probably saying a prayer or something like that. Like,
and guess what? The Lord considers it. You know what I'm saying? The Lord considers it too. The Lord, He'll show you more mercy in those times. You get what I'm saying? He'll show you that mercy. Because at least you know.
Right.
At least you know.
Right.
You know what I mean? And you'll come back. You'll come back on the earth, and maybe that prayer will set you into coming here.
Right.
You get what I mean? Go ahead.
Revelation 2:9. I know thy works and tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich, and I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not.
You understand that, right? The Lord said he knows the blasphemy of them who say they are Jews and are not. He knows the blasphemy. He knows the disrespect, the lack of, the lack of respect they gave to us. Give me another one. The sacrilege that
lack of reverence.
Right, the lack of reverence, the profanity. Like the word that he's saying is all strong words to what they stole from us. You get what I mean? Give me one more precept and we'll move on. Give me an address what David said, what Solomon said in the most holy of them all, the seal of Zion. Y'all know that precept, right? Give me that. Because this is something that we rock, right? The shield of David, right? A lot of people, you'll run into cats when you're rocking your shield, and they'll say, why do you rock the shield of David? And I remember coming up in the truth, they would say, cats in the world would say what? Oh, you know that's what they say? The Star of Molech.
Yeah,
the Star of Molech. Yeah. Star of Remfran. What's that one? Remfran. I did not know what the hell they was talking about.
Yeah.
Right? You be at camp, I'm like, what is they talking about? I didn't know. Go ahead, Thor.
2nd Ezra chapter 10 verse 23.
Hold on real quick. I did not know what the hell they were talking about. So you got to go, you listen to that camp, and then you go study it. You go study, what's Molech? Hey, I ain't never heard of Molech. What is that? You can break it like, oh, okay. What's Renfrew? Oh, okay, damn. All I know is what the UPK men do is right.
Right.
That's right. I knew I was right. I just didn't know how to kill them yet. Right. You understand? So now I know how to. Go ahead.
So yeah, it's funny till you said like, because then when you go look it up and you start to do the studying, you be like, what the hell were they talking about?
Yeah, right. You be like, oh, this wasn't even close.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they not even close. They not reading the Bible.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So you won't even you realize they don't even research, because when you look up what Molech was, you find out that it was a superheated statue with arms, and they used to put kingdom on arms and sacrifice.
Come on. Like,
how is that a star?
It ain't even close.
Right.
Like, the only thing you could say is that it was a star in the sense of something that was bigger than them, like a star like LeBron James is a star.
Right.
You get what I mean?
Star, yeah.
And then you break it down more to say, but you're saying it's a star like in the sky, because they really don't know. Right? Because that's the only thing you can give them is star of, the figuratively.
Right.
But then you break it down and say, well, a star is a ball of gas.
In space.
In space.
You know
it doesn't have points.
Right.
We're not 5 years old drawing stars.
Right.
So you're going to tell them it's a ball of gas, and then they get crushed, and then that's that. All right? But give me that, though.
Right. 2nd Ezra chapter 10 verse 23. And which is the greatest of all, the seal of Zion have now lost her honor, for she is delivered unto the hands of them that hate us.
Y'all understand that, right? The seal of Zion has lost its honor because it was delivered into the hands of them who hate us. Y'all understand that?
Right.
It was delivered onto them, and it was destroyed. The seal was lost its honor because they wear and are, homosexuals. You know what I'm saying? They wear it and live in our homeland. They wear it and eat pork. You get what I mean?
Right.
They wear it and put their mouth on babies' penises.
Right.
Y'all know that's a fact, right?
Right.
And circumcision, when the so-called Jewish baby is getting a circumcision, the damn rabbi puts his mouth on the baby's penis and sucks the blood out his rod and gives babies herpes.
Right.
The babies get herpes because these rabbis is homosexuals.
Right.
And freaks. Let me get your man real quick.
It gets the rabbi eye too.
Yeah, he's having a great time. He like,
Right.
Can't wait till later today.
Right.
And he like sucking blood. Like, what is wrong with you? Go ahead.
Right. There was a couple cases where, it's so disgusting and insane that children caught STDs, and a lot of times one of their testicles, because he was going too hard.
Oh my goodness!
Like, he was enjoying it that much.
I mean, I think the parents and the cat should go to prison.
Right.
Now, what are you doing?
Right.
I don't know how. This is anything holy.
Right.
He's not a physician. You know what I mean? Go ahead.
Oh yeah, it's like you don't know where that tradition comes from, or where did it get that?
The tradition comes from white people being freaks.
Right.
That's where that comes from. from homosexual freaks. You know what I'm saying? Like if you know white people, you mean growing up, you know white people was freaks. First thing you heard when you was young was what white girls do to you. You know that. You heard it at least. And you was like, damn, is that true? You wanted to find out. I ain't never found out. Y'all probably found out, but go ahead, bro.
I mean, if you kind of even like going up the history, you kind of like, when you start to see, it's always been in front of you though, by the naked babies with the penises out.
Come on.
The naked statues that you see, like, you never really kind of pay attention up front, but when you start to realize it, it's been a part of their culture. And you watch a lot of the old films, and things like that. Like, one of the, somebody tried to put me up on like a warrior movie that's on Netflix called Spartacus. So I had tried to watch it, and then like immediately it had a whole bunch of homosexual, like Roman and Greek stuff. I was like, I can't even do it. I cut this off.
Listen, I got a family that went over to Europe, and they said, I forget what part they was in. They went all through Europe, and they said like it's homosexuality all over the place. I'm talking about like statues. You got babies or young boys, like, you know, going up a priest garment, like going under his robe, touching it or putting his mouth on a rod, and it's statues of these things. Like it's out there. In the Roman Catholic Church, it's part of what they do. The Roman Catholic Church is homosexuality and pedophilia is part of their religion. You understand? You know what I'm saying? So that's how Edomites are in general. It's in the Bible. It's through history. And they think it's okay. It's fine. You know what I mean? We good to go on that?
Yes, sir.
Let me get Lahav's question.
It's like, I asked this question before. I got the breakdown on this.
No sweat.
It was on Jeremiah 31 and 34.
31 and 34. Let's go. Everybody get there. Go ahead and read it when you're ready.
Jeremiah 31, 34.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go to 32.
Go ahead.
Jeremiah 31, 32. Not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day that I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt, which my covenant they break, although I was a husband unto them, saith the Lord. But this shall be the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, saith the Lord. I will put my law in their inward parts and write it in their hearts, and will be their God, and they shall be my people. And they shall teach no more every man his neighbor, every man his brother, saying, Know the Lord. For they shall all know me, from the least of them unto the greatest of them, saith the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
For I will forgive their iniquity and remember their sin no more.
Okay, what verse is that? 33?
34.
34. What's your question?
So the part where it says that they shall teach no more every man his neighbor and every man his brother, saying, Know the Lord. And so what I was getting from it was, Old Testament Israelites and even pagan Israelites say that we're not in the new covenant, because if we were in the new covenant, there would be no need to teach.
Mm-hmm.
So if I can get on.
No. This precept is the newer covenant. Go ahead.
I was going to say this is a future prophecy.
Yeah, this is a future prophecy.
When the next kingdom.
Right,
you know
right.
What I'm saying? This is a future prophecy, not right now.
Exactly. You got to remember what was Christ's covenant for us? He died for us. You get what I'm saying? That was that's the reason why we're allowed to live now, because Christ was the ultimate sacrifice. This precept is talking about a covenant that's going to come when we get the kingdom of heaven. We're not going to have to teach no more. When I say teach, everyone's going to know the truth, right? You're going to grow up. You know how we're in the world, we're born in sin? In that kingdom, we're born in truth. So you still teach your babies, not to, don't eat that and, everything you had to teach a baby, but they're going to grow up in a world where we don't sell pork.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's no prostitutes, there's no drugs. You understand? Go ahead.
So you're saying that we're in the new covenant. That part, the new covenant part happened already.
Right.
When it says you shall teach no more,
that's
a future prophecy.
That's a future prophecy. But give me the precept that what I'm talking about. I need the precept for it.
I'll even say Hebrews 8 and 8.
No, that's a precept for Jeremiah. But give me the precept what I'm talking about.
Which is that we're in the new covenant.
That Christ is the reason why we're allowed to live now. Remember, because we broke the old covenant. The old covenant was broken. Right? Who was the old covenant broken with? Come on. Who was the old covenant broken with?
With our forefathers.
With our forefathers, right? Who's our forefathers? Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, right? Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, right? So we broke that covenant, right? And that's why we had to go where? Into captivity. And we went through those captivities. We went through it throughout history. And then Christ came. Christ is the reason that what? We were allowed to break away from the Old Testament way of what? Dying when you broke the law, right? And he gave us Romans. He gave us the way, the new way to live as far as what? Fighting our demons and not becoming a sinner and showing the world that we can be perfect. You know what I'm saying? Unlike Christians, unlike Muslims, right? He's showing you that you can fight yourself and be perfect. That's why he came on the scene to show us how to live. And that's why he came as he came, meaning as a man. Go ahead, Lyle.
I only asked you, it was, you said you asked me for Hebrews 7:15?
Hebrews 7:15, let me hear that.
Hebrews 7:15, that for this cause he is a mediator of the New Testament.
Thank you. That's it. Go ahead.
That by means of death, for the
by means of what?
By the means of death.
Means of what?
Of death.
Go ahead.
For the redemption of the transgressions that were under the first testament.
Under the what testament?
That were under the first testament. They which are called might receive the promise of eternal inheritance.
You hear that, right?
So
go ahead, Ali.
So you can precept this one with Jeremiah 31 and 34?
To prove what, though?
To prove that we're under the new covenant.
Yeah, meaning this. Nothing's changed. The only thing that's changed is that Christ came. That's the only thing. All the laws are the same. We just don't exercise the law of putting you to death. That law is still there.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? But now we don't exercise the law no more because now the Lord said he wanted what? Obedience rather than sacrifice. You understand? Go ahead, Quan.
So it's like, if I may, so that I'm not wrong then in this statement I'm going to make, if you could correct me.
Go ahead.
So how I view it is, sin came into the world is why we fell into captivity, into the situation.
Okay.
And for that, Christ became, as the Hebrews 7:15, became the mediator to show us how to live in truth.
Right.
You know what I mean? Until the kingdom comes, and then from there, that's where everything as far as living the truth would be normal.
Right.
So my question is, would it be safe to say, once we're in that regular standpoint of how in America it's normal as a child to know that they celebrate Christmas, but in the kingdom we're going to know the Passover, we're going to know all of those.
That's why I said it's going to be written in your inward parts.
And so, is it safe to say that in that time in the new kingdom, the laws of where we would put people to death for breaking will then be reintroduced?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Because now it's going to be unnatural for you to do something like that.
Okay, that would be that's what I want to understand.
But now remember, there was times where we went into captivity, and there was times that we ruled, but then we fell again. You understand? And we went back into captivity. Then we came out of captivity. You get what I'm saying? It's times like that. We always went back and forth, but now we've been in captivity for centuries. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, Al.
If I could, sir, with 31 too, when it says the inward parts. So the inward parts, that's right now.
It's not right now. Because remember, we're fighting our flesh. We're fighting our inward parts. Right? That's our inward parts. We're fighting our flesh now because we're coming out of the world and striving for perfection. Right? But in the kingdom of heaven, we're going to be born into a world where the desire of doing something evil or doing a sin won't be there. You get what I mean? Like, you want to smoke a cigarette, you ain't never seen a cigarette. You get what I'm saying? You want to have sex with a prostitute, there's going to be no prostitutes. So it's going to be unnatural or unseemly for you to kind of go out your way and do so. Now, who will fight themselves in our kingdom?
Oh, slack you.
Well, go ahead.
The heathens.
The heathens. Because it's unnatural for them. It's natural for them to eat pork.
Right. And rats.
And rats.
And dogs.
You get what I mean? And it's natural for, an African to have sex with a male African. It's natural for a white man to want to be a homosexual. They're going to have to fight it, or priests will pop up behind them. You know what I'm saying? And they act and put them to death. So now if an Israelite was to do it, surely he will die. Y'all understand? Good to go? Give me Romans 8, though. Let me show you what I was talking about. Romans 8:1.
Romans 8:1. You said 1,
Yeah,
sir?
8:1.
Come. Romans chapter 8, verse 1. There is therefore now the condemnation to them which are in Christ Jesus, who walk not after the flesh, but after the Spirit. For the law of Spirit of life.
Read again from the top. And read what the word was? Yeah, you wrap it up for me, brother.
Condemnation?
Yeah, condemnation, right?
Come.
Everybody knows what that means, right? You got an idea what it is? Look it up for me.
Like condemn?
Condemn. What does it mean to condemn? Define it, please.
You want the definition too?
Yeah. Getting the definition just helps you understand the scripture. You understand? I know you know what it means in your mind, but to get the definition helps you out tremendously.
You want to say?
Yeah.
Condemnation, censure, blame.
Say what?
The act of judicially condemning, or I should get condemned.
Just let me know when you got it. Read from the top up yourself.
Come. Romans chapter 8, verse 1. There is therefore now no condemnation to them which are in Christ, who walk not after the flesh, but after the Spirit.
You understand that, right? There is no condemnation of Christ. Go ahead.
Condemnation just means persecution.
Persecution, I need a little more though. But it says what? To walk after the what?
It says, there is therefore now no condemnation to them which are in Christ, who walk not after the flesh, but after the Spirit.
You understand that, right? They don't walk after the flesh, but after the Spirit. Go ahead.
But saying there is no punishment for those that walk with you.
There you go.
Because you follow Christ, there is no more punishment for you.
Right, because Christ is in you. Right? There's no punishment for that. You understand that, right? So you see how you can relate this back to Jeremiah? I'll show you in a second. Keep going.
Come. For the law of the Spirit of life in Christ have made me free.
Made me what?
Free.
Go ahead.
From the law of sin and death.
You understand that, right? For this it made me free from following Christ from the law of sin and death. Go ahead, Paul. You want to say something?
Yeah, because from the precept, when it says that it's a future prophecy of saying that it'll be in our inward parts.
Okay.
So if it's in our inward parts and we didn't walk like that, then we're free from those things because we don't no longer have to fight the desires of this world where we normally would, but it will be in a perfect kingdom at that time.
Exactly. Go ahead, Lyle.
You can use this to prove that you're not in the oak, right?
There you go.
Where it says sin and death.
There you go.
You're not getting punished for your
Come on.
sin.
That's what you have to show them.
Right, yeah.
Because they don't know the Bible.
Right.
You get what I mean? Cats just talk. They hear something from someone else and they repeat it without knowing what the hell they just said.
Right.
You can do that in here because you know someone did the research.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? But if you're outside of this umbrella, this house, you should research. Because you're going to eat your words, and we'll make you eat your words.
Yeah, I'm right.
You get what I'm saying? So it'll behoove you not to be like that. All right, go ahead.
Come. For what the law could not do, in that it was weak through the flesh.
Because the law listen, the law didn't do anything for men. It didn't help men. You know what I'm saying? Because your flesh is so weak. People would break the law and sacrifice their best thing. They best, goat, best oxen. And that sin meant more to them than that oxen. That oxen should be more because the oxen is going to give you money. But that's how great lust is. You get what I'm saying? Lust is so amazing that you'll throw everything away. You get what I mean? Go ahead.
For what the law could not do in that it was weak through the flesh, the Most High sending his own Son in the likeness of sinful flesh.
In the likeness of sinful flesh. So they say Christ sinned, right? That's not what that means. What does it mean in sinful flesh? Go ahead.
It's like it means just in a world where you're going to be tempted, where you're going to have to go through and be tried.
Right. More of this, though. His parents were sinners. You get what I mean? That was the sinful flesh.
Because I guess if I may, in the new kingdom, parents aren't going to be sinners.
No.
They're going to be perfect. So it'd be normal for a perfect child to be born a perfect parent.
Right. That's why. Go ahead.
Okay, so to say that's what you were getting at when you were saying that comment.
That's why it's important that you go get the best seat you can in this place. The Isupk, go get the best seat you can, and be this way to the end, so you'll rule forever. You understand? So you'll rule forever. How you gonna rule forever? Because you will continue to make sons, and sons will rule in your stead, and then your son will have another son, and then that son is gonna bring you back and put you right back on the throne. You understand? And you'll rule forever. Right? Go ahead.
And for sin,
I know I'm going over some brothers. Yeah, what the hell is he talking about? Go ahead, no sweat.
I'm sorry again, so everybody know where we're at. For what the law could not do, and that was weak through the flesh, God sending his own son in the likeness of sinful flesh, and for sin condemned sin in the flesh.
You understand that? What does it mean in sin? Well, he said in sin, right?
For sin condemns sin in the flesh.
What does it mean when he says sin condemns sin in the flesh? Don't get it twisted. This is tough. Sin condemns sin in the flesh. Go ahead, Doc.
You want me to break it down?
Yeah, you got it.
So for sin, it condemns. So we understand what condemn is like punishment. So sin condemns sin, meaning that it showed that the law was worthy to be in place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
because it showed, you broke it, then it showed that this law was necessary.
Okay, there you go. And that sin condemned sin in the flesh, meaning what? Christ came in the flesh and showed you that he can condemn evil by being who he was. You understand? He showed you that what? You can walk a life without sin. It takes extreme focus and discipline, though. And that's what he showed to his men. You know what I mean? So he showed that what? It was possible. And it's not impossible. Now, Christ came as a man, just like us, in sinful flesh, so you wouldn't have an excuse. That's our slogan, right?
No excuses.
No excuses. Do we have that somewhere in the Hebrew? Or
no,
we got it right there, right? No excuses. There you go.
It's right there in front of the podium.
Yeah, that's what it was. And Christ had to show you so you can stop being half a homosexual and giving everyone the excuse on why you can't serve God. You understand? Go ahead. Any more on that? Take me down to the end of 5 and we good.
Verse 5. For they that are after the flesh doeth mind the things of the flesh.
Because them that are after the flesh, they mind the things of the flesh. Go ahead.
But they that are after the spirit, they the things of the spirit.
Yeah, they mind the things of the spirit. And when you mind the things of the flesh, meaning you care what you feel. And the way you feel, you have to do. You understand? But in the spirit, you ignore your fleshly desires and you do what your mind tells you instead of your heart. You understand that, right? Laha.
You relate that to like Samuel and David?
Yes. You can relate that to Samuel and David. You can relate that to everything we talked about. You can relate that to your precept as well. Go ahead, Juan.
Verse 6 lays it down flat.
Go ahead.
Verse 6. For to be carnally minded.
Now, what does carnally mean? What's carnal mean? Go ahead, Juan.
Worldly.
Worldly or more specific?
Lustful.
A little more specific. Flesh.
Oh,
carnal means flesh. Right? Go ahead.
To be carnally minded is death.
Y'all understand that, right? To live in that way is death. You can't be carnal and live on here because you're gonna die. Right? Carnal, related to physical, especially sexual needs and activity. It's everything your flesh wants. Your flesh is gonna tell you, I want to sleep with a whore. And you're gonna sleep with a whore. You understand? Right. You're going to do it because you mind the things of your flesh. Right? If I see a woman and I'm like, damn, she's bad. I want to have sex with her. I'm not gonna do it though. You get what I mean? I can just say she's fine or she's bad and then look another way. You get what I mean?
Go about my business.
Y'all been on baseline before? Y'all been on G Street before? Right, yeah. Don't drive over there. Because you're gonna get some whore in your car, and then then you're gonna die. Y'all understand? Just think about that. Give me one more precept. Is that good on that?
Just one little more part.
Go ahead.
But to the spiritually minded is life and peace.
Y'all understand that, right? But the spiritually minded is life and peace. Be like Christ. Don't be like them. Y'all understand? That's all you need to know. Now give me Proverbs 14 and 12 and we'll end it.
Proverbs 14 and 12. There is a way which seemeth right unto a man.
Say it again.
There is a way which seemeth right unto a man.
There is a way that seems right to a man, right? The way you live your life, it may seem right to you. It may seem right to do a lot of things that you do. It might seem right. Go ahead.
But the end thereof are the ways of death.
But the end of the way you see things, or the end thereof is death. Y'all understand? You don't want to see things how you see things. See things how the Lord wants you to see things. Y'all understand that, right? You don't obey yourself, obey God. Is there a better precept than that in Proverbs? I think it's 25 and 23. Check that one. It's the same thing, though.
14. So you want to go to 14?
14, go ahead, keep going.
The backslider in heart shall be filled with his own ways.
Go ahead.
And a good man shall be satisfied from himself.
16 and 25. Me and Proverbs 16 and 25. Same thing, I think. And we'll end it. Hey, y'all got any questions? If no questions, we'll be good.
Want to call it, sir?
Yeah, 16 and 25. Same thing, right? Let me hear it.
There is a way, it's like Proverbs 16:25. There is a way that seemeth right unto a man, but the end thereof are the ways of death.
What's after that?
He that laboreth,
That's good. Y'all understand the precept, though, right? You don't want to live your life according to how you want it. That's why you're not in Christ, but you live in the flesh. Y'all understand? Don't live in the flesh, live in the spirit. All right? Oscar, are you ready?
No, sir.
All right, with that, I'm going to pass the class over to Precinct Officer Oscar Ward. Yeah. You said an announcement, sir?